And we're live once again. Welcome back to the Cleveland Trip Day 4, or as I like to call it, the road back. I'm now currently in Richmond, Indiana. I left Cleveland this morning about 8:30, I guess. Got everything packed up. It took longer to pack the bike up than it did to clear the hotel room. And as I was packing it up, the security guard from the parking garage came over and was commenting that he was looking at my bike all night. And I'm like, well, I'm glad somebody was watching it. So got it all loaded up, went to pull out and put my ticket in the little gate arm thing, and it said expired. So I couldn't hear it. I had to take my helmet off, the earbuds out, and he was standing there. I was like, I couldn't hear it, I couldn't tell what it said. So he's like, oh, it's expired. So I had to go into the little kiosk and pay for it, which is fine. Cost me a little bit less than I expected, but it was still $40 for 2 nights. Hey Jeff, glad you could make it. Just talking about leaving the hotel in Cleveland. So I finally got the parking paid for, got back on the bike, got pulled out, and I had set the GPS to take me to my first stop, which was in Lambertville, Michigan. And it was really just a gas stop. So as I pulled out, she's giving me directions that didn't make sense. And I'm trying to get my orientation around, all right, which way is north? When you've got the earbuds in and she's saying, go west on whatever street. Well, I don't know what west is. Just give me a left or right. So I took my best shot and headed up Euclid Avenue and went to 4th Street, took a right, and I don't hear anything from her. So now I'm getting a little concerned. Did something get messed up while I was in paying for the ticket? What? For the parking. So I pulled over, reset the phone, got my directions, and she's telling me to take a left. And I'm pretty sure that's not right. And this has happened with GPS before that I'm trying to think of where it happened to me, that it would occasionally just get all jacked around. She'd say left when she really meant right. I knew it was right, but she'd say left. And I think the GPS just gets hosed. So she's telling me to go left. I'm like, no, that can't be right. So I started to go right, and I was going to come back up Euclid again and see if she just picked up where I was. And finally she's like, keep going for another 3/4 of a mile. I'm like, okay, we're on track. So went for 3/4 of a mile, hit the highway. That's fine, Nick. Thanks for showing up, and thanks. I'll let you know what's going on. So got on the highway. It wasn't raining yet. It was still just cloudy. And the nice thing about it is it was warmer because all the clouds were keeping the heat in. So got down the road, down Route 2, and started heading towards Toledo. And it started raining. And I had my rain gear on already, had my clears on, so that wasn't a problem. But, it kept getting heavier and heavier. So I'm riding along, and I'm thinking, we're bikers. So by nature, we take risks. And I wonder at what point when you're riding along, you have to tell yourself, this is really just too dangerous, and I should pull over. And right about the time I was thinking that, I wasn't thinking about pulling over, just that, there has to be a point. Right about the time I was thinking that, it just opened up. I couldn't see anything in front of me. It was brutal. And I'm thinking, well, I should pull off, but I can't see the side of the road, so I can't really pull off. All I can do is follow the truck that's in front of me and keep an eye on his tail lights. So passed underneath the bridge. I'm like, I should stop there. That's what I should do. I should stop under a bridge. Finally, I saw an off-ramp. So I went off the off-ramp, and as I'm getting off the off-ramp, I'm thinking I should have just stayed there and went underneath the overpass and stayed out of the rain there instead of being on top of the off-ramp where there's no covering. But I went up there and sat for a minute and thought, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to keep going. So got back on the highway. After a while, it kind of cleared up. It took a while, and I really had a tough time seeing for a lot of it, but it took a while, cleared up. And actually started getting a little bit sunny for a little while, and that was gorgeous. The bad weather makes you appreciate the good weather all the better. So I'm in my rain gear, I'm ballooning up like a big puffball. It's getting air in someplace. I'm not really sure where. I cinched down the wrists and everything else, and it was all bundled up, so it's picking it up from someplace. So I'm this big balloon going down the street, and finally got to where it cleared up a little bit, and it was actually quite nice. Went across. I can't remember the name of the body of water there, but yeah, it was gorgeous going into Toledo. And it's not fair to judge it from. Oh, you know what? I don't even have my mic on. I'm sorry. I got to screw up something. So if that was it, that should be a lot better. So Toledo, it's not fair to judge a place from just a trip through the highway after you've been in a rainstorm. But I don't think I'd want to live there. But it is on the way to Michigan. So I got up into Michigan, and the GPS gave me a couple of roads. It took me down Route 597. And as I turned into 597, I see the sign that says, "This is closed. This road's closed in 10 miles." And the GPS is like, "Continue on 597 for 8 miles." I'm like, okay, she's going to turn me off at the end. So we're going to make that one all right. And it was nice. It was farm country and out, very rural. And it wasn't raining at the time. So that was, a rather pleasant part of the trip. And, you start thinking things like, well, it's not raining, so this is all great. So she finally got me around, and I got up into Michigan. Yes, made it. And the GPS is like, "Welcome to Michigan." I'm like, "Thank you." And the scenery changed. It was all suburban and really somewhat nice. And I think I would like Michigan, at least the lower end of it. So I was driving around the roads and no gas station in sight. And I thought, I don't really have any place to go up here other than to get gas. I'm just going to get gas and turn around and head back because, it's still nasty weather. I'm still waiting for the rain to come through. So I finally found a gas station. There were schools, there were churches, lots of houses, no gas stations. Finally found a gas station, and I thought, all right, I'm going to get gas there. Pulled in, and every single one of the pumps was covered up. No gas. Can't get any gas. Ah, man, it stinks. So I pulled out, and I pulled the direction I thought she was telling me to go, and just kept going. And I'm not hearing anything from her again. I'm like, okay, I'm going to trust the GPS. By now, I'm running low on gas. Yeah, I've got, I'm running about 117 miles on the tank, and gas starts getting precious about 130, depending on, where I'm riding. Being in the rain, I figured I wouldn't have that kind of mileage. So I just keep going. And I'm in the middle of nowhere. It's farmland, and it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. But the only thing that's missing is tumbleweeds, and I'm running out of gas. So I had to pull over at an intersection. It's in the middle of nowhere, just a 4-way stop, and pulled out the GPS again. And that gas station that I tried to get gas at was the one I had planned on going to. No gas there. So now I don't know where to get gas. So I found a BP station, got back on the bike, and I'm following the GPS, and it seems again like she's giving me backwards directions. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to trust and obey. Just do it. Just follow the GPS. And she got me to where I needed to be going. I got to there was a Safeway in front of me, and the BP that I was looking for was just down the road. So I take a left, head for the BP. By now, I kind of have to use the restroom too. And it's starting to rain again, just a little sprinkle. So I got my gas. At least I don't have to worry about that anymore. I know my wife's worried about me because she knew how long it was supposed to take me, and it took me a lot longer. So I need to text her, but I didn't do it yet. Had to find a restroom. And I really just want to get out, and I want to start heading south. I want to start making my way home. So as I was pulling up to the BP, I guess somebody called me on the phone or left me a voicemail or something. I think they must have called me. And somehow it got turned up full blast. And everything just went white. It was so loud. And I'm scrambling trying to turn the headset down. I finally just shut it off. But yeah, that was fun. So got back on the highway, found, is it 75 at that point? Doesn't matter. Found the highway, started heading down south, back around Toledo, and I just set the GPS to take me to my planned stop in Indiana. So as I'm going along, I thought, okay, I need to stop at some point, call my wife. Maybe if I get 40 miles behind me, I'll do that. So I got about 40, 48 miles, pulled over, got gas, swapped. By now it's kind of clearing up quite a bit. It looks a lot brighter. I'm thinking, cool, I'm out of it. Took my rain gear off, put my vest back on, put my good glasses back on, my gloves. And I'm like, oh, the sky's looking dark over that way. Yeah, well, that's okay. I'm going that way. I can outrun it. I didn't realize that I got turned around. So I went to get back on the highway, and I got to head south. That's right into that messy stuff. Pulled back off to the side on the on-ramp, took my vest back off, put the rain gear back on, put the clears back on, stowed the gloves, and headed down the road. Yeah, it rained on and off really the whole day. There were some really nice stretches, and that was nice because the rest of the time it was miserable. I definitely like Ohio. It looks beautiful even through the rain. But, if you get up around the Great Lakes, when the Great Lakes area gets gloomy and dark, and I remember this from growing up in New York, it's gloomy and dark. It's emotionally gloomy and dark. It'll just suck the life right out of you. So, it wasn't a great ride for that part of it. I mean, other than, the little spots of sunlight and the fact that I made it out of Michigan without running out of gas in the middle of nowhere. It's the little things you have to be thankful for. So I started heading back and just I got behind a truck and followed him for a while just, to pace him. And really just started thinking about, well, what if I just went back? Do I really need to go to Indiana? Toss that back and forth. But I did end up going to Indiana because I knew my wife would worry if I didn't call her, if I didn't let her know where I was soon. And, it's Indiana. So it was one of the stops on the trip. So I'm here at the Best Western in Indiana, in Richmond. That's the hotel room. No vaulted ceilings, no hardwood floors, but it is significantly cheaper than the other one, especially when you throw in free parking. And it's a shelter from the storm. My understanding is it's supposed to be sunny or partially sunny for a good portion of the day tomorrow, at least here, which means that stuff may be moving back in, some of the sunshine. So hopefully that'll be a good ride tomorrow. And I don't know if I'm going to stop in Kentucky tomorrow night or if I'm just going to keep pushing through to maybe Knoxville, and that'll get me just about halfway home. Almost, really close. So the trip is definitely kind of winding down. I don't have any big stops on the way back. I was kind of hoping to tell you about some of the beautiful countryside and what a great ride it was, but no, not so much. But that's part of being a biker, right? I mean, anybody can ride in sunny weather. That's what I always tell everybody. I hate riding in the rain, but it does make me appreciate nice weather that much more. And I can say I rode in the rain, so I'm not scared. So that's how the trip has gone so far. I think I'm going to make this the final live at night, really just because I don't have anything else to say. It's just riding at this point and stopping and that kind of thing. If something comes up, I'll throw it in a video and put it in the video that I'm going to put together from the trip. But I don't expect anything to come up. I haven't had the GoPros on the bike just because I don't want to get them wet. Normally they're water resistant, but because I plug them in and unplug them so often, I took the little port cover off. So that kind of wrecks their water resistance. And I've got those cracks in the screens. So that wrecks their water resistance. So I've been keeping them out of the rain. So there hasn't been, and I don't like to do a lot of road video anyways, really, unless there's something exceptional to look at. And all I could show you today was clouds and some rain. Well, actually a lot of rain at one point. Oh, I'm going down Route 2 after the downpour, and the GPS starts telling me every mile. It's like 65 miles. Stay on Route 2 for 65 miles. Stay on Route 2 for 64 miles. Stay on Route 2 for 63 miles. I'm like, something's wrong. I don't know. And I can't get into my pocket to pull it out. I just want to get there. So I just shut the headset off. I'm like, I don't know if it's just cooking off in my pocket or what, but I don't need to be reminded every single mile for the next 60 miles. And when I turned it back on, when I got to close to where I was supposed to turn, she was fine. So I don't know. Maybe she just wanted to make sure I got through the rain. I've got no explanations. But yeah, the things that happen on the road, you know, and I guess that's what makes the stories, maybe not terribly exciting stories, but they're stories nonetheless. They're a whole lot more interesting when you're sitting around a campfire with a couple of handfuls of beers. But of course, you know, as time goes on, you get to embellish them a little bit. And it was a downpour, and this wave came across the road. But no, it was really super rainy. So anyways, I kind of wish I'd brought the windshield at that point. I didn't bring the windshield because I put it on the bike before I left, and I thought if I put the windshield on, I lose 2 places to mount the GoPros, which I can't mount anyways because it's been rainy, and I really could use the windshield. But you know, if you put it on, there's nothing, you're stuck with it. There's no place you can stow it, or no place you can put it if you don't want to use it. And I really don't like using it unless it's raining. So anyways, I'm going to let you go. Like I said, this will probably be the last live because I just don't really have anything else to say for the trip. At this point, it's just getting back. I am looking forward to Kentucky, but if anything comes up, you know, I'll let you know. But I don't think I'm going to do another one. I know a lot of people, you know, don't love the format. I know one person, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. I know I'd remember it if I looked it up, but he was saying basically he didn't really like the live ones because, you know, it takes too long for not enough information. And I get it. I don't begrudge him that at all. I understand completely. It's not really my favorite thing to do either, although I do love not having to edit it for 3 or 4 hours. That's pretty awesome to be able to do it and then just have it done. That's great. So bike's still holding up really well. I thought I lost one of my turn signals, but I just didn't. I wasn't looking at it right or something. It seems fine now. But the bike's still holding up really well. We got about 700 miles left. All right, Chuck, will do. Thank you. And I will indeed see you later, and I'll ride as safe as I can. So that's that. Like I said, I'm going to sign off. It's tough. You say goodbye. No, you say goodbye. No, you say. So anyways, thank you again for joining me. And I appreciate you being here. And I will see you probably in a couple of days. Thanks. Bye.